welcome back to But Why the Podcast, and today we have a special episode for you from the Austin Film Festival, where I got to sit down with Zach Lamplugh and talk about his feature debut, The Vice Guide to Bigfoot. And make sure, if you're attending the festival, to check it out when it debuts October 25th. Enjoy the show. Hi, Zach.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good.
Cool. So let's go ahead and get started. For those of you listening to this interview, I have the great pleasure of speaking with Zach Lamplugh, the director and co-writer of The Vice Guide to Bigfoot. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Anytime. What's going on?
I'm really excited to talk about your movie, in all honesty. I finished watching it yesterday, and I was like, oh, this is, like, really good.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's been like my life for the last year. Yeah.
Well, there's payoff, at least for, I think, for viewers. I enjoyed it a lot, and I have to ask, how did the project start?
Oh man. We had basically, okay, so I guess rewind like 3 years ago, we used to run a show where we would make like 2 new shorts every month. Mm-hmm. So we would I probably directed like 70 shorts, and like we would shoot them and then like play them like 2 weeks. Well, all right, 2 weeks later, it started out with us planning. Like it started out with us being like, we'll shoot it this week, and in 3 weeks the show's happening. That'll give us time to like edit and like retool it. And by like the 3rd year of doing it, it was like, just shoot it on Friday. The show's on like Thursday, whatever. I'll edit it over the weekend. And so we like, we're just used to making stuff. Like that's been our whole thing, is like, I'm not good at like taking phone calls. I'm not good at like putting together a pitch deck or like that. That's not really my jam at all. Like I'm just good at like making stuff and like getting better at that and showing it to like a theater and everything. And we kind of got to a point where we just, it became, that was the new skill set, was like getting really good at taking phone calls, getting really good at like having a lunch. And we'd done all the like, we realized after like a year of just like taking really cool lunches with people that would love to someday work with us or whatever, you know, and we were like, let's just go out and just make a movie. Like we found out it wasn't that hard to actually like raise money for a movie. It wasn't as difficult as you think. And so it's way easier than like being on an email chain with like a bunch of people trying to just basically remove the voice of the cool like pilot you made or the cool whatever. And so we basically were just like, let's just make a movie and let's just make it like the way that we made our shorts. You know, like we already have like a fun, creative voice, and let's just try and put that in like something that's about 90 minutes. Oh. And also, I forgot to mention the last like couple of shorts that we did while we were still running that show. We went on like 2 or 3 months of just like every short was about bites. Like, and they just have a particular like style that's easy to make fun of, and also people weren't really, this was like back in like 2016, people weren't really making fun of them. Maybe 2017, like people and all my friends were very eager to work for them. Like I was like, people, whenever we made those, they were like, you can't like make fun of Vice, dude. Like, what if you could be on Vice? And I was like, shut up, it's not gonna happen. It doesn't matter. You know, like, so we made these shorts that were like, one of them was with Brian, who was in the movie, but it was just about how everybody that works there looks the same. Like everybody has glasses and a beard and like a button up that's like short sleeves. And the whole like start of it was, what did he say? It was him like walking around town, and he was like, I'm religious, or no, he said I'm atheist, but I'm spiritual. I have tattoos, but I'm kind of a pussy. Just like all these contradictions. Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, because like one of the things that really comes off really well is, you know, the documentary is obviously made in, or you know, the mockumentary. It's made in a Vice style, and you all use the Vice logo. Did you have to work with Vice on any of that? And were they good sports about it?
No, no. We didn't tell anybody anything. We just went out and made this thing. I mean, it's so yeah, like a lot of people, I don't know, want to like post about stuff. We were like, let's just not even tell anybody we're making this movie. Like we didn't even really tell anybody until it was like already over. So even our friends didn't know about it. But as far as like making fun of Vice or just, I mean, like I feel like a lot of their aesthetic and stuff, and like it's barely an aesthetic. Like whenever, like there was one part where I just put up the word Viceland like as a logo. It's literally just like Helvetica New 75 on white. That shouldn't be allowed to be trademarked. Like if I just typed out Times New Roman and like it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? That like that you could pull that up in WordPad and be like, that's our logo. Don't do that, dude. Like that. You guys should try harder. You know what I mean? Like, try harder, and then you can come after us.
So, with Vice as a start, you know, that obviously means that there are a whole different, like, visual kind of mediums that you use in the film. Like, you use a YouTube border, and you have different perspectives when different people pick up the camera. How did you decide when you were going to kind of insert those pieces? So, because it flows really well from, like, perspective to perspective. How did you realize when you do that? I mean, there's a full trailer for a fake show at the end of it. So, like, how did you go about that?
Man, so I mean, I guess we just been making like spoofs forever, and I also edit. Like, I'm an editor at Adult Swim. I work on a few shows over there, and I'm like well versed in like, let's really nail this look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's like really, today we're making fun of HGTV or like stuff like that. And so we had done that like a bunch with our shorts in the past, with making fun of whether it's the Food Network or Anthony Bourdain or something like that. And yeah, I mean, and also I guess I'm trying to think of what the answer to this question is. Like, I guess I like to like wrap stuff up like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really funny to me, at least, to like just wrap up like wrap it up as though it's like we're making fun of SNL, or like put it in like a wrapper of what we're doing. And then as far as like all the different, you asked about the fake show at the end. Like that was actually the one sequence that was animated. And, well, you know, we have a couple things that are animated, and I just had like, because I've worked in Atlanta in the animation scene a little bit, like I had built up favors with friends and stuff, so I was just like, you owe me a little guy moving. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I just need to have zero that. So, and then just getting clever about how to make it move very little. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, is this just enough work? Cool. Yeah.
Because actually, I think one of my favorite moments where it kind of jumps from people is when you actually put in the stock image. When Brian says, "Just put in stock image," from the drone, at the fair. I thought that worked really, really well.
Yeah, Brian wrote that. It was really funny. That was actually one of the that gag made it all the way from like the very first outline.
Oh, that's awesome.
All the way through the movie. Yeah. It was good, and also we just like obviously made up that company. It was funny taking it the other way, being like, no, I shot that, but I'm gonna like put a logo on it. Yeah.
So I also have to ask, why Bigfoot as kind of the back piece to all of this?
There had been a lot of like, we always wanted to make like a horror comedy, and there had been a lot of like zombies that's been like done to death. There's probably like 25, like major ones. Yeah. You know what I mean? Between like Zombieland, Shaun of the Dead, all this stuff, you can just go on forever about like whatever. And then there'd been What else? What We Do in the Shadows had like done like vampires and kind of werewolves a little bit.
Yeah.
And we were like, well also like Bigfoot's kind of overlooked. Like it has a huge following. Way more people believe in Bigfoot than believe in vampires, for sure. I found that out making this movie. We didn't realize we knew like once we started making this and I started like asking around, people were like, well, yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of funny, but Bigfoot's real. Like, you shouldn't, make fun of it that much. And I was like, wait, how many people do I know that actually believe in Bigfoot? And I don't think I'd seen a Bigfoot movie where the Bigfoot is like real looking. I don't know. There's a lot of like just a guy in a suit out there. There's a lot of like very clearly like it's a dude in a suit and they like put too much light on it. Yeah. So it felt like an untapped genre, you know?
Yeah. No, it's definitely unexpected too. I mean, and I don't want to go into spoilers, but the way you all kind of handle that twist is also really good because it kind of feels like two movies a little bit. Once it gets twisty and things jump. How did you maintain, like, I guess, because there's a tonal shift, but it's not jarring, right? Like I don't know how to ask that question. Sorry.
What part are you talking about? What part? I'm curious.
Yeah, so it's when the guy that's leading them is doing the YouTube video and he gets knocked out, and then you realize,
okay.
oh crap, there's actual people, and then and so it's still highly comedic, but like the perspective shifts and the camera gets distorted, and then it turns into a Bigfoot movie as well as a crime movie. So.
Well, I mean, we just wanted to, like, I guess we're from Georgia, and I really wanted to fold in, like, something believable.
Yeah.
And it seemed like everybody for real was talking about, like, the like, fentanyl and opioid crisis, like, all the time. So I was like, well, we can, like, fold that in. And also, we, like, live here in Georgia already, so we drove to set like an hour away, and we were like, this is totally believable out here. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
There's like a tonal shift between the two movies.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't mean it in a negative way at all. Like, it's a nice shift in, like, oh yeah, very much satirical Vice movie. And now it's a criminal and straight Bigfoot movie, which is great, and it was really well done. And that was one of the comments I had too, is and just how much of, I guess, the dialogue was straight from the script and how much was improv, because a lot of the interactions, even the absurd ones, feel really real. Like Brian's frustration in a lot of the movie is like, I feel for him.
Well, okay, so like a lot of people like to say it was improvised, but we wanted the script to like really be funny. I don't know if that came out right. We wanted to like have the script locked down and funny and be good on the page before filming it. So it actually wasn't as improvised as you'd think. And actually, Jeff and Brian, who were the two mains in it, actually both went to, like, acting conservatories.
Oh, okay.
We realized, like, so I realized years ago that, like, everybody that was in a short that, like, was really good, like, back when I was running that show, like, everybody went, it was, like, a trained actor. Like, we were like, damn, it's kind of like whenever John C. Reilly did, Dr. Steve.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, how is this dude, like, he's like an Oscar award-winning actor, but he's, like, so good at being goofy. It's kind of like that. Like, we realized, we were like, oh, all these people can, like, hold their chops dramatically, and if you write something fun, like, if you write it to the circumstances funny, they can, like, really take it and go with it. But also, as, like, a director, I don't necessarily, I don't police every single, like, word coming out of their mouth. You know what I mean? Like, I have a rhythm, and I have lines, but if someone says, like, if I have it, shut the damn door, and they just say, shut the door, or, like, I'm not going to be like, policing every single word coming out of their mouth.
Yeah.
And then, but then also, like, I'm also, like, really flexible. Like, we are flexible because we made all these shorts. Like, the lines where, it's about, like, 35 minutes in where Brian keeps trying to bring up, like, so probably your life fell apart because of Bigfoot and your wife left. And then Jeff keeps cutting him off. They just made that up. So they just made that up that day. They were like, hey, we have a funny idea. Can we just, like, walk and talk and Jeff will constantly cut me off? And I was like, yeah, sure. I think we did, like, 2 takes. Like, 2 or 3 takes. And we were like, awesome, got it, nailed it. So it wasn't as improvised as you'd think, but also I'm open to, like, improvising on set, too, for sure.
Awesome. Well, I guess that's a very big credit that to you guys, because I watched it. I was like, man, I actually feel like I'm watching genuine interactions throughout. And oh my God, if I was Brian, I would want to hit somebody right now. This is so frustrating.
He has a particular. I've like hung out with him enough and like seen him get pissed off at things enough. He has a really particular like way of expressing himself when he's mad. And I remember, I don't know what scene you're talking about, but I remember one day he was like trying to act angry in the movie, and I was like, no, like you get mad. Like I had to explain to him, I was like, no, you get mad at really petty things, and when you do, you just say shit over and over and over again. That's what you should do.
Yeah, it was so.
This whole thing is like, yeah.
Yeah, I think like my favorite 2 moments are the one with the drone where he keeps trying to intro and then he keeps messing it up and he says, take the drone shot. And then the other one is when he's in the woods and he's trying to intro that and he just like gets angry and like storms off because it's not working.
Oh, yeah, they're great. I mean, we basically built the movie around them because they used to be in so many of our sketches.
Yeah.
And we were like, what's a good, like, vehicle to have, like, 80% of the lines come out of both of their mouths? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
For a directing standpoint, because you do show so many different different perspectives when different people get the camera, because there's very much that found footage feel, and especially at the ending of the film, it feels like a little bit, like the Blair Witch a little. How did you go about directing that? Did you direct the people who had the cameras? Did you have the camera yourself? How was it setting up those shots, especially from so many different perspectives at the end?
I probably filmed like 95% of it. Like I was probably camera operator for like 95% of the movie. But we also had another great guy, Tim Reese, who was our producer, and he was, for a lot of the more complicated shots, he would like produce it and basically DP it.
Yeah.
And then he just knew that like I knew what I wanted from the camera because I have like more of an editing background.
Yeah.
But he would be able to like set up the set that the lights look awesome. So any way that I shoot the camera, it's gonna look great. And as far as like, sorry, what was your question again about?
Just
directing found footage.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I had actually never directed anything found footage. Like we were like, at first I was like always very averse to it. I was like, I would never want to do a found footage movie, but once we were like, well, we can like mash it up with Vice, and by doing Vice, you can mash it up with stoner food blogs and mash it up with like all these other, hipster journalist stuff. Like you can mash it up with other styles. We were like, okay, that could be really fun.
Yeah.
And then also when things get intense, actually like a big influence was the movie Creep. You ever seen Creep on
yes,
Netflix?
that's one of my favorite films.
Yeah, so I've been telling all my friends, I'm like, this movie to me is like Creep meets Popstar. Those are like the two for me that I was like, it's whenever the movie is scary, it's Creep, and then whenever it's funny, it's Popstar. But like a lot of people, I think it's more my age maybe. I'm like early 30s.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people haven't seen those movies, so it's like I have to tell people, I'm like, well, no, it's like Blair Witch meets What We Do in the Shadows, because you have to quote two hits. you even if you mean the same thing, you should say Mad Max. Don't reference Waterworld. Even if they are the same aesthetic, you shouldn't be like, it's two things you've never heard of. But, yeah, no, Creep was like a big, I really loved Creep, and I really loved Creep 2, which I think was really funny. Like, or at least, when he's like, depressed.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I've never seen, like, a depressed Hannibal Lecter. As far as the camera movement, though, and everything, for, like, a found footage, that was, like, there was one night that it was just miserable. Because having to track, like, this actor comes in and says something, and then the camera has to swing left. So then your next line, you have to start with the swing left, and then land on somebody else who says their next thing, and then it swings back. It was just, I'd never done that before. That was kind of a nightmare. But I figured if Birdman could do it, I could compete with Birdman. That's what I said. I was like, if Birdman can do this, I can do this myself.
Well, it all came off really well, and honestly, like, it's really cool hearing you kind of quote those two films, because I have, in fact, seen Never Stop, Never Stoppin', and I do love Creep.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's great.
I can totally appreciate those references, and I can see that there.
Yeah, I think younger folks all know Popstar. I rented it, like, 3 times on iTunes. I think, like, what I mean? Like, pull it up and pay for it. I was like, no, we're watching this tonight. I'm gonna pay another like $6. It's a great movie.
Yeah, we actually.
Shame it wasn't like a huge hit.
Oh yeah, I'm always surprised that people don't know about it. I mean, like, we went to a convention with some friends, and we ended up coming home from a bar, and they were like, "We're gonna put on this movie." I was like, "What the hell's that?" I was like, "It's Andy Samberg," and so we rented it, and it was like, "Oh God, this is so good," and we've like watched it more since then.
Yeah, these are the things in my Jeep. I'm always showing people that. Have you heard the whole version?
I have not heard the whole version.
On YouTube?
No.
If you should Google it, because all those songs, they have like a 3-minute version, and the one, Things in My Jeep, has Chester Bennington from Linkin Park is in it.
Yeah. Like,
he does the whole, it sounds just like the Linkin Park song.
Oh, this is so good. I need it, because I know Mondo put out a vinyl for it, for the entire soundtrack, so I need to YouTube some stuff now.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me and stuff. Yeah, I don't really know how to end. And where can people find you, and where can they check out the film?
Oh man, where can they find me? The internet. They Google Zach Lamplugh, I'll come up. And then the film. I mean, man, we have like a Facebook page set up, but have you seen that there's like a trailer up? Would you mind sharing that?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna put up a trailer, 100%.
Or technically a teaser, I guess.
Yeah.
That's it's up, and actually was like props again to my producer Tim. Like, I had made one. It was like only okay, and then he just like hovered over me for like 2 weeks and was like, "This could be better. This could be way better." And then like once it was, I was like, "Damn, Tim, this is like a real movie over here." Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely put that up. But yeah, thank you for taking time out of your day to talk, and I hope you have an amazing Austin Film Festival.
Thank you very much. I hope to see you there.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're there, say hey.
Yeah, I will. Awesome. Thank you so much, Zach.